Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, and the USO on the daily, weekly, monthly time frames using technical analysis at StockBookie.com. So let's look at the daily SPY. We gapped up today, pretty nice gap up, 48 million on the day, 48 mil. No institutional buyers out there. I think it was the lightest day of the year. I think we actually had a couple lighter days, but 48 million on the day. They couldn't even get a confirming uptrend in these markets all day. It was pretty pathetic if you ask me. But so we gap up 618, 50 MA right on the daily charts, and chopped around, and at the end of the day, if you look at the 10-minute, we started pulling back. Ultimately, we talked about this in the live trading session. It came in, recaptured the 20, never confirmed, and then right back down. We actually closed below the gap window, and we closed below the 50 MA, which was interesting to me. They couldn't even come out and push this thing up on 48 million, 48.5 million. Now, we get some more action after hours. We are a little bit down after hours, but like 4 cents, not a big deal. But yeah, unbelievable action, guys. Typical. Bond market closed, big rally. If you look at all the other times the bond markets are closed, unless you get some news or some bad news, it's always up. And today was their day to gap this thing up and get everyone on board. All the high flyers, the Amazons, the Netflixes. Well, Netflix was down, ended up selling couple hours before the end of the day, but the Googles, the Chipotles, they're all high flyers, getting all the small retail buyers in there. Oh my gosh, we better hurry up. Earnings are coming, hurry. These stocks better have good earnings, guys. But anyways, that's the daily SPY. We're still not above the inside bar. Until then, we have an inside bar bearish pattern consolidating for over a month. This pattern does play out. We are going to definitely go down to 206. 205 area and possibly even the even number. I think there's a gap down in here. You have a gap fill right here. You have a gap fill ultimately down in here right around the $200 area. You still have the 200 MA, but this consolidation pattern is telling me we're going to get lower prices eventually, unless it could pop up, get above the trend line, go to the 220 area, and then maybe a little more upside. If it does that, I'll be adding more shorts across the board again. All right, let's get to the weekly. Well, the weekly, again, we got to see the weekly price closing, but this pattern is looking better and better too, guys. Inside bar, bearish consolidation. This will be the 5th week. We get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks of consolidation inside this bar. We are setting up to go down at least to the 200. I mean, we'll go to this gap fill around 203 or so, but ultimately, if that pattern plays out, we're going to the 191 area. But probably after elections, maybe in November, we'll see, the Santa Claus rally and all that crap. Everything's based on news right now, and that to me is flipping scary, let me tell you. All right, let's get to the IWM. IWM up $1.42. Again, just another lagging indicator. We've been talking about this for months, still in its inside bar, bearish pattern above the MA, so still slightly strong, but until we get above this bar, fill this gap, get back up here above the 126 area or so, this thing's chopping around again, setting up to go lower. Where's the volume on this? 21 million on the day. This is pathetic, guys. Well, you got to expect it is the holiday, so you got to look at that too. But my gosh. But this was their chance. Get everything higher. And they did. They got everyone to get into Facebook now. And McDonald's came in. McDonald's went up again. Google. What else? What else was a high flyer today? Tesoro, Halliburton. Hurry up. Oil. The oil's rallying. Get in these high. Why wasn't anyone telling everyone to buy oil at 9/11 on the USO? It's almost at 12 bucks. Now they're telling everyone to buy it when it's up 30%. Come on. It's called chasing, guys. Don't do that. Let it come in. If you really want oil, if you really want anything that bad, let them fall and then buy at cheaper prices. Come on. But again, IWM needs to get above the inside bar, and that's right around 125.44 until it does. Still an inside bar, but now slightly in a bullish pattern, going sideways on this inside bar here. So we'll see. Next weekly close, we'll have to see. I think today was a head fake. Get everybody on long, and then they're going to dump it in their face. I think one more time, and then maybe the float up into the election, but we'll have to see. 119.23 was the area we were watching on this one. The last 119.22. We talked about this in our live thing. As long as it closes above that, we could possibly go higher. But again, we haven't closed. This is a daily chart or a weekly chart. We're looking for a close above that on the weekly. We're actually above the high today, which was 119.48 so far. It's a different story. We'll get to that one eventually. For what we're looking at for confirmation. Again, we're looking for a close above 119.23. Didn't get it. Closed below a penny, so that gives me enough. If you want to short this thing, you can. If it gets above maybe 120, 122, then take it off the table, wait for higher prices. Again, no volume on these markets today. Actually, the Qs wasn't too bad, but the SPY was just pathetic. You got to watch for that. The weekly chart, like I said, we're going to watch for the weekly close, but at this point, we're still below the 119.23. The DIA. All right, the DIA, let's go to the daily. Same thing as the SPY. We filled this gap, got above to the 50 MA, got above it, but just not enough. And look, we closed right on that trend line too. That's big too. That's on the daily, so we're right on top of that. Let's see if we could get lower prices tomorrow. But it'll be interesting to see where this thing goes. I'm still thinking, you know, we retested this high bar again, inside bar, bearish pattern, got the trend line. I think we're heading down, but with the light volume, they can keep this thing up for a little while longer, maybe until the elections. You know, I mean, they've been doing a hell of a job, let me tell you. They, the Federal Reserve, period. I don't know anyone else buying at these highs. You know, maybe to manipulate the markets, but geez, putting a big buy program up here, taking a chance of this thing gapping down 200-300, you know, in the morning. And these are one of these market guys where the Dow opens up, we gap below this area, and we start heading towards 176, where we're down, you know, 500-600 points, and everyone's like, whoa, what's going on here? I thought everything was fixed. So on this trend line on the weekly, we are above it, but we're going to have to wait for the weekly close. Nice bearish consolidation above the 20 MA, but still in a bullish stance above the moving averages until we start getting below. Then I'll believe that this one can possibly go lower. So we'll see. You know, we're right in that time zone where anything can happen, guys. IYT, they're trying to make another move here. You know, just can't help it. This has been a lagging indicator for months. Months. Here's your highs up here. Come on, why is break out already? Holy cow. This is supposed to be a leader, not the lagger. And then we have a pretty good bullish pattern here. Gets above it, comes below it, gets above it, comes below it. We're going to just chop around 42 times as they're shaking everybody out. But you know, everyone bought puts right here, so they're going to keep this thing going for another 3 weeks so they can just kill a put, because that's their goal in life, guys, to kill the puts. That's all they know how to do. Oh, there's a lot of puts in the market. Get them. That was Ben Bernanke's thesis too. This is the other one, the weekly we've been watching. So far, we've been watching this bullish pattern. Got above it on the weekly. Remember that. Weekly came right back in. Now they're trying it again. Let's get everyone on board again. Needs to close above this line, and then needs to close above the high of this candle the following week to confirm and possibly go higher. We didn't do that. The only reason it's moving up now, no volume. We're actually a little bit up after hours now. Someone's catching a bid. Woo! This is great. Sounds like Trump. We're going to make it great again, these markets. USO. USO now has been interesting. If you've been watching my videos or in our live sessions, we talked about the 1166 area. We did close slightly above it today by 2 cents. We do have some good resistance up in here, but we do also have some good resistance up here, which it tagged today right around the 1177, 1178 area. So we're going to see, we're going to watch this area close. Was this a head fake, or was this where it's going to, you know, possibly move up to this gap fill right into here? I could see it possibly getting to the $12 area, and you still do have a gap fill up in here, and ultimately a double top if it makes it there. But we've been adding a little bit of short every time it hits resistance. Next one will be at 12. Next one will be at 12.25. Next one at 12.50, or we'll wait patiently for this upper level, and we'll see where we go. But yeah, I mean, it has a nice breakout. But again, like we talked about, why wasn't everyone telling everyone to buy oil back here? You know, I mean, you know, RBC came in when it was right into resistance up in this area, and see how they pushed it up. Actually, you can see it on the weekly better. So right when, let's open this one up a little bit. So right when this one hit resistance here, that's when RBC came out and said, oh, oil's on a move, they got to do it. So it's kept on going, and you know what? We shorted right here at gap fill, and the high pivot of 1245. We pulled it off here, went a little bit lower, came here, shorted again, covered again. Now we are adding more. We covered half again, we're adding more as it goes up. It's starting to look a little bit tired. Again, this is a weekly chart, so I want to see a close above the 1165.66 area on a weekly close. The daily, I'm not really following on this one. This one's more important on the weekly. And plus, we need to close above this little pivot around 1154 as well on a weekly close. Then we'll relook at this chart and see what this thing could possibly do. The other thing that's catching my eye is the UUP, dollar up, usually oil down. Right now, we're getting the oil news. Everything's, now it's Putin out there. We're going to do this and do that. It's going to be great, and we're going to actually listen to you guys and do exactly what you say. Yeah, how stupid does that sound? So, but we have areas in here. We have the dollar breaking up. We have gold coming down. Remember, the dollar up, gold down too. But gold caught a little bit of a bid too because I think people are starting to nibble at these lower prices. I'm still waiting for about $1. Well, you know what? We'll go to gold real quick too. But if this thing breaks out, I want to see it close above this high pivot or this little tail here. Then I think we're going to 25.21. And then ultimately, maybe this gap fill, maybe this area here, 25.57. I would love to see the 25.87, then this double top. We are long the UUP. We have been for a little while, and we've just been riding up as it's making lower highs. You know, this thing's ready to go, and if this thing goes, oil, basically everything's going to come down. You know, the dollar up is bad for Janet Yellen, bad. So got to keep an eye on that. Let's look at gold real quick. A lot of people asked me in the live session about gold. Where did it close? Did it close above the 20? Wow, right on top of it. I think it's slightly above the 200 moving average. Yep. So I want to see if this pattern sets up bearish for another down move. I would love 115.71. This would have been your first area if you would have caught that one at 118.83. I'm trying to wait for this. If this moves up, it's going to move up without me. That's the bottom line. But as the dollar was going up, gold was coming in, oil was going up. So that's the trade there. Dollar up, oil and gold should be coming in. Oil was going up on news. Gold was acting how it should be, acting as the dollar moves up. So this is the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly chart on gold. You know, I still this inside red bar here. That's still telling me possibly a little lower prices. That's why I'm going to try to wait patiently for the 115 area. Man, if you could really wait for the 112.40, this gap fill here, that would be great. I mean, you have a couple here as well, but if it could get here, maybe in a dream world down here, but you're gonna have a lot of support coming up here in the 115, 117 area. So we're gonna have to see how it reacts. I think if the markets start to pull back, gold might start moving up, but you got to follow the dollar as well. That's kind of intact, but again, Janet Yellen's probably going to be talking in the middle of the month, and everything can be disconnected once again, like always. But that's the gold trade on this one. You know, we're coming back in. You know what? Let's just stick a quick fib in here just to see. What do we got? Yeah, 750. It's not a bad area down in here. I'd rather wait for double bottom down in here. But you know what? If you're getting the gold itch, it's not bad. Just make sure you have more just in case if it goes a little bit lower, especially if it goes into the $12 area. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.